Hi, nice to have you again with us on the program Conversation. My name is Elizabeth. Today is a very special day for all of us because something that will happen to, happen to all of us. I want to put it that way because it's one way or the other it will affect your life, and that's selecting a new leader. It actually will start on another level today. That's the campaigns for 2023 general election. This show is particularly designed for women, and so we're particularly concerned about women's participation in politics, especially this 2023. And women's equal participation and leadership in politics and public life are essential towards achieving sustainable development goal. That is the projection for UN Women for the 2030. And it's amazing that in Nigeria, it's amazing. According to reports, the national average of women's participation in Nigeria remains at 6.7% in elective and appointive position, which is said to be far below the global standard of 22.5 and, of course, African standard of 23.4. Anyway, I don't know, but sometime this month, that's 19th September, we found out that there are about 28 countries where 30 women serve as head of state and government. I don't know what that means for Nigeria, but at the end of today, we want to find out what is that big elephant inhibiting the woman. How can we push it off completely and, make the bold step? Because a lot of women are doing well as domestic leaders. And I'm told that the family is the first unit of the larger society. So if women can successfully steer the machine, steer the engine within the home and bring out good children, good husband, good everything, I'm sure they can also do this, the society at large the same favor. We have a lot of people that will be joining us as we go on, but I'm told that there's a bit of traffic all over town, so they are on their way, including Devon. We also have the APC women leader, Edu, coming in, and the NNPP woman leader coming in. But right in the studio, I have one already seated. Let me let you introduce yourself.
My name is Chisamilo Dorothy Nuhu Akenova. I am currently the National Secretary for Labour and Civil Societies in the Social Democratic Party, and I also worked towards presidency in this ongoing election as an aspirant for presidential elections.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's the primaries.
Yes.
You got weeded out during the primaries. You want to share the experience with us?
Well, for women, it's quite a Herculean task because there is lots of things happening in there. I think when you say an elephant, it's an understatement. There are several elephants in there that we need to deal with all the time. And along the way, so many things happening. And I think that men have been at it for much longer and are able to find their way around. And remember, it's a patriarchal system. Mm-hmm. So it's designed to favor the men. So the question of having resources available, the question of building trust across stakeholders, the question of the tactics even that are employed, how to read them ahead of time and be able to position oneself against them, and how we coalesce among ourselves as women towards imagine, especially at a top level like presidency.
Wow, that was quite daring. That's quite daring.
And I think that most parties have in mind where they are going to. They are prejudiced. Let me say that. They are prejudiced because there are statements like, oh, especially the Northern Bloc. We don't think they are ready yet for a woman president, and that can influence the way party runs the process towards the emergence of a flag bearer. If we didn't have these myths that were infiltrating into the process, then we would have had a much fairer process during the primaries.
I keep wondering. I'm told at a point that the population of women, was actually bigger than that of men.
Yes.
Even though today I try to check statistics, I don't know how balanced that is or how accurate it is. I'm told it's about 49% or 49.6% of Nigerians' population are women, but that's quite a whole lot. So if all of them come out to really vote, I'm sure there will be a world of change. And that is the reason why the men keep saying that women operate with the PhD syndrome. That's a pull her down. Yeah.
Don't mind them. They just put that for us to see, and then we look at each other with suspicion so that we are not able to work together. It's a patriarchal agenda. When people say women suffer from pull her down syndrome, they make it look as if men support men all the time. Look at how many men were contesting. They were at each other. Until now, they are still at each other. They call each other names. They accuse each other of very unholy things, in the process. Women don't do that. So we shouldn't let them put it in our heads any longer, because it's a divisive statement. Women love one another. Women support one another. We can disagree just like the men do, and it is okay. We shouldn't be meant to believe that we must always agree on everything at all times. But talking about the population now, yes, we have a significant population. Yes, women are always the majority at the polls. We vote. The question is, do we have the right kind of education to vote correctly? That's one thing. Are we also capable of self-determination to make choices by ourselves and stand by them without invisible power behind us, pushing us towards a direction? Like, what is the family expecting of us? What are the husbands expecting of us? Imagine, like, my personal example. When my mother realized that I was aspiring for presidency, she said, "Oh, your senior brother, he's in PDP. So where are you going to contest with him?" I said, "Mama, he didn't say he wants to be president." I said, she feels I should queue behind my senior brother.
Number one, he's a man. Then two, he's your elder. So you should stay behind.
He's now the father of the family. So we need to be conscious of all of these nuances that dictate to women how they channel their political agency. We must have that in mind at all times when we do the analysis, because there is lots of invisible power that is pushing women in a direction, and it takes a lot of work to restore self-determination to the women, to restore that agency, that capacity to be able to make a choice and a decision independent of what the family thinks, of what the religious institutions think, of what the cultural institutions think. And that conditioning, we have to work at it, massively, because we don't have all the time to do it. Otherwise, the generation we work with will soon be wiped up, and another. And that's why programs like Conversation is very key in our lives.
It's important. And I particularly thank NTA for giving us this platform, because
especially for today. Thank you, NTA.
All right, a lot of times you've mentioned the patriarchal system, which is a hindrance. I'll take a break now. There was something I saw my people putting together. I don't know the platform they wanted to use, but I had to hijack it for this particular show, because it tells a whole lot of what the home, how the home controls and supports the women in politics. Let's take this.
Oh, hi dear, good evening. You're still awake by this time. This is really strange.
Did you just meet me?
Yes, I said good evening.
Good evening. It should be good morning. Did you check your time? Huh?
Past one.
It's past one.
Yeah.
And you're just coming home. You're a responsible woman. You're just coming home. Like past one.
I didn't know. I told you where I was going to, right? And I didn't know it was going to take this long, to be honest. I didn't know it was going to. And this meeting was so important that we had to stay till the end. So it's not like.
You have to stay till the end. You left our children at home. You have to stay to the end.
I don't understand. Why are you being all dramatic about this right now?
Woman, I'm being dramatic.
Well, obviously.
Did you say I'm being dramatic?
Yes, because I told you where I was going to, and you know how important this meeting is.
A responsible woman. You've forgotten that you're someone's wife. Huh? A mother. And a very religious woman at that. So what example are you laying for our children?
But it wasn't intentional, you know this. It is not a habit. I don't do this. This meeting was so important. It took us this late. I didn't know it was going to take too much time. Can you just chill?
Okay, let's just pretend I'm calm. Let's pretend I understand and I'm calm. Where did you say you're coming from? And what did you go there for?
Okay, it was this political campaign meeting that held at this hotel. What's the name of this hotel? It was just somewhere along the street. It wasn't even
In a
far from-
hotel, my wife, in a hotel. In a hotel. In a hotel.
Hope it's not what you're thinking. No, now.
Tell me what I'm thinking. No, tell me what I'm
It was a
thinking.
political meeting. There were a lot of women and men there. It's not what you're thinking. Please. Let's not even go there, please.
You see why I'm against women involving in politics? Eh? If I should support this now, this will be the first of the many times we'll be coming back.
But babe, you know that there are a lot of women that are into politics. A lot of married women that are into politics and they are doing very well. I know I know how to go about this. You just need to calm down and be a supportive husband.
Now she's fooling me. You want my support, right?
Yes, I do. Like I really do.
Okay, if you want my support, you should understand that I am the man in this house. And this is my house. So long as you live under my roof, woman, I don't want you involving in politics. I am the man of this house and I don't even involve in politics. So why should you?
But everybody has what he wants to do. We all want to have interest in different things. And I'm somewhat interested in this right now. So just allow me. All I need right now is your support. Not you holding me.
Mrs. Politics is a dirty game for the men. Leave it for the men.
You realize it's not just for the men, right? It's not just for men. You should understand this. You should know this better. You are overreacting. You need to calm down. And it's not like this is something I'm used. This is the first time this kind of thing is happening. So I don't expect this from you. Really.
Okay, let's pretend I am calm. Okay, we are both calm. Now, Mrs. Me, this is going to be the very last time I'll be saying this. I don't want my wife involving in politics, and that's fine.
I don't even guess. Why is he being so dramatic about this right now? Like it's just annoying. Looking at how far I've gone with this, and he wants me. I don't think it's going to work. There has to be a way around it because I'm not giving up right now. I'm not. I'm tired.
All right, that story caught up with me because at the end of the day, it's actually the reflection of a lot of people's mindset towards women who are in politics. And while it was going on, we had one of the guests I already told you will be joining us walked in, and I'll leave you with the job of introducing yourself.
Good morning, viewers.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Mariam Bello Yasin, the National Woman Leader, New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP.
New Nigeria, yes. Okay, so thank you. I really felt for you when you had to tell us the story of the holiday you had to go through to come into where we are today. Well, as a woman leader of New Nigeria, we hope that there'll be a newness around that story some other time. But looking back to what we saw earlier, the my takeoff from that, it is a whole lot, but I want to look at the point the husband raised, that politics is not just a dirty one and it's not for women. What's your take on it? Both of you are in politics.
No. It is to participate in the development of your country. It is not a dirty game. It is the players in that politics that are dirty.
All the players or some of them?
Some of them, not collectively, everybody.
Okay.
Some of them came in for their own selfish ends. Some of them come in because they want to help, they want to assist, they want to develop their country, and they want to touch the lives of the those that are not privileged and those vulnerables, and then to develop the youths and the old aged people and even the women and children. So most people go into politics with their own set of minds. What are you really going into for? Is it for your own, to develop yourself and your family? Or you want to touch the lives of the people around you? Or you want to expand it to the generality of the populace in your country and even beyond? It all depends on your intention right from the set. So, but when some people get there, they get carried away because of the juicy things that is there, because they felt that when you go into politics, that is the fastest way you can make money, you can make it, you can become someone. But it goes beyond that. Not everybody goes into politics because they want to make money or make anything else. But some people have the belief that with them, instead of sitting by the fence, like for example, I have to explain myself. Let me just tell you how I got into politics. I'm not a politician. I was not a politician before, but now I'm endemic in it. I'm really, really a politician now. But my own kind of politics is not the type that has been played before. We are out there. We refuse to sit at the fence and complain and make comments and describe people this, that. We want to come in, and we already gotten in to make our impact felt, to assist, to get borehole, to bring sanity, to bring security, so that everybody will be happy, to bring development, children education, youth development, and a lot of all. So definitely that is one of the most reasons that made me stop sitting at the fence, joining them to make sure that our impacts are felt.
I think it's a deliberate effort when they say it's a dirty game. They want us to feel self-righteousness. Oh, I'm so morally upright. Yes. I won't do anything dirty, so I stay away. And then they continue to plunder the nation and plunder the people. So we must unpack all of these myths that are associated with politics and the process.
Up until when you got to where you are, you never needed to play anything dirty.
No, I haven't played any dirty game till now. Okay. And I can boldly say that anywhere I haven't. You know, people would say, like in Hausa, they call it.
I just see another person coming in. Devon, please come right in. I know that traffic was also your issue. I like your clothes. You look quite radiant.
Good morning. I wish I could determine what would happen on the road, but
I'm tempted to tell you to keep standing. Sorry, keep looking at the lovely dress you're wearing.
People did not tune in for fashion today. Good morning.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Sorry I'm late.
I just came in not quite late too.
Oh, okay,
don't worry. It's today's thing.
It was awful, and then we doubled back, and when we doubled back, we entered the worst one. So
that was
the same story we had.
That was what happened to
something
me.
else.
We turned back, and then met the worst one. I said that too.
All right. The good thing is that you're here, and I know that you contested at a point. I'll give you time to take a breathing space, and let her finish up once she was actually telling us.
Trying to talk about the myth that politics is dirty. You know, so I'm still insisting that it's a deliberate attempt at our sense of morality, so that it can keep us away, so that the dirty people can continue to enjoy the benefits, because they are not there for leadership. And that's why when they say it's a game, it worries me, because it trivializes the entire process it trivializes the purpose for which people are in politics. This is a process of identifying leadership, for goodness sake. When we go to look for a wife, we don't say we are playing game. Why would we be looking for president and governors and say it's a game?
It's a game.
You know, it is not a game. It's serious business. It is for now and the future. And so we must remove that thinking that makes us trivialize, and the language that is used around it that makes us think like siyasa is, kolo kolo, you don't do anything straight. After all, siyasa is not straightforward. No, it is not meant to be like that. And we as women, we have come in to redefine how politics is done, how leadership is identified and selected. And it's our responsibility as women to make sure that those structures are living up to their responsibilities, so that when eventually someone emerges from those structures, people are comfortable going to the polls.
Yes.
Because they know who they are going to supreme
course.
has come out of a process that is credible.
Yes.
I still go back to the story we saw earlier. One of the things that really triggered the problem for the man, like she said, it's not the first time, but it was because the woman came back about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. It was on a.m. anyway, and he had to sit up. Why is it that, or has he even stopped? I've never done political meeting. Must he always be in the night?
It's not often, because since I joined politics, I don't think I have stayed above the highest, I say maybe 10 o'clock.
But
There are
are
issues-
there not other jobs that are done
Yes,
at midnight?
midnight.
Medical doctors work at
Sometimes he may
midnight.
call for it, maybe
You know?
for emergency.
Yes.
They need to address an issue before daybreak. It could happen. But then it's not often. And whatever is done should be done properly. Not to say, yes, because it is night, I won't contribute. What if behind you wrong decisions are taken and you are part of the National Working Committee? How do you defend yourself? You were not there. So whatever is taken against the women, you are to sign if they form quorum. So definitely it's not always, and when it comes, it's on emergency.
And I like your angle to that, that there are other jobs.
There are other jobs.
Yeah.
I have worked with the civil society organization for decades, and I remember that most of the time I'm busy doing proposals, I'm busy reading reports, and also studying to expand the scope of the project. And we are compelled sometimes to work until 2 a.m.,
Yes.
3 a.m. My colleagues know sometimes we are dropping one another off at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
That is civil society work.
And nobody sees it
And
as being
nobody,
wrong.
yes. And then now it is politics. Now it's time
it is
to
now
get
wrong.
into positions of leadership so that maybe a convoy or
Yes.
2 or 3 can follow us with a little house that they will give us and other things that they enjoy. And so they think that is it.
If you must know, some of us in NTA here we work all through the night anyway.
Wow.
Oh,
We work all through the night here.
So
And
yours
nobody
is
has
even
ever
worse.
accused us.
yeah.
Why don't they say it's dirty?
No,
You know?
it's NTA job, so you can't be there.
Voila.
You were going to say something.
It's a way
No,
of preventing women from participating.
It's,
That is why they gave it that bad name.
It depends on the kind of man you have in your life. There is the kind of man you have in your life where, regardless of whether it's politics, CSO, journalism, as long as you're out past 6, 7 p.m., it means you're doing something with another man somewhere.
Wow.
The person will make your life a living misery, even if he can reach you on phone whenever he wants to. Then woe betide you, maybe your phone dies, maybe you didn't carry your charger and things like that. So you are now rendered incommunicado. In the morning, you get home, you're exhausted, and this person is having
It's throwing tantrums.
colorful fantasies about what you must have been doing. And so I feel like
Very fertile imagination.
no, seriously, if there is not something specific that you can latch onto and say, this is why I feel you were doing something wrong, I feel it's a reflection of who the man is.
Of
He's
course.
probably telling us what he is doing outside
Yeah.
when he's
Or
not
what
coming
he
home
could
on
be
time.
doing.
So it's difficult for him to fathom that that is not the exact same thing his wife is doing when she is indisposed with, I mean, we have medical doctors. You're not going to leave
We
an
have
emergency.
nurses.
Nurses,
You're not
yes.
going to leave, and you'll hear men say, "Oh, don't marry nurses. They are night shifts. They just use it as a cover to run around." And every field where a woman has the misfortune to work into the night, there's that coloration, there's that tinge on her. The police and do the wives
The
close
army officers,
at 6 p.m.
Air Force,
army and all of this.
naval officers. that
So
will go to the
anytime a
south.
woman finds herself in a sector where she has to work through the night, there's that coloration. And you can't help wondering whether there's just this patriarchal thing to use this thing as a means of keeping women
At home.
at home.
Yeah.
We are
Because
not wondering. That's the agenda.
That's the
That is
agenda.
agenda
So
now.
it's not just around politics. You were lucky you didn't have that going on when you were in CSO. But there are other women that would face that challenge.
Yeah.
There are those that the husband would say you cannot travel because the team is all male and you're the only female in that trip, and you are going to be in Port Harcourt for 2 weeks, staying in hotels. So there's this thing, the men already have power. It's not easy to share it.
Share their power.
Yes.
Yeah.
But is it really their power?
Well,
No.
they are the ones
They are
holding it
doing
right
it to
now.
themselves.
They are the ones holding it right now, and it's not
It's a male
easy.
privilege.
Yes, it's not easy to be divested of it, or people don't willingly share what they're already enjoying. It has to be wrested out of their grasp sometimes. Sometimes you keep trying different ways. You go about it nicely. You go about it a bit more forcefully until you find what works.
As you speak, I keep trying to remember your experience. You've shared it with me 1 or 2 times. I know one of them is Mr. Mom was very supportive.
Oh, yes,
In fact,
he
not
was.
just him being supportive.
was there that day.
Yes, even your mother-in-law. And I say that's a good one.
Mother-in-law, father-in-law, I
Everybody.
had plenty of support when I ran.
That's the way it should be, really. But what are your takeouts from your participation at that time? What would you not do again or do differently?
Oh, there's so many things I would do differently because I went in as a novice, a greenhorn. The opportunity was there, and I felt that I could give it a shot. I didn't go in as somebody who had already long been actively engaged in politics. I came in as a newbie and ran for office. Now, what I would do differently is I would definitely carry more women along. It was not intentional. It was an oversight. Much as the people who surrounded me at home meant well and everything, because I was mindful of the fact that this is a new turf for me, I let them take many decisions without my input, because I felt I was deferring to people who had better experience than I did.
you, yeah.
And so I ended up with a campaign team that was only men.
Wow.
Literally. Only men.
No
It was
woman, no vote.
yes. It was close to the primaries that I started realizing, listen, there's a huge gap here. Like I would literally be, would be going somewhere, and maybe my zip, there's something, and I'd have to tap my father-in-law, and that was when it started occurring to me, listen, you're supposed to have women in your team. It was something that small that started making me realize, wait though, I'm surrounded by elderly men. I don't have any woman that I can say, hold my purse. I'm literally not going to give my father-in-law my purse to hold,
Obviously.
and if maybe when you are in the village or in the bush, you want to pee, it's a woman that will help you to adjust your dress, or come and stand and cover
for you.
I didn't have all of that. And that was when I started realizing you don't have women in your team. You are talking to women, but you're coming to talk to women surrounded by men. There's no woman in your team.
That's a big lesson.
It was a huge gap
It was.
on
it
my
was,
part,
yeah.
and I'm willing to admit
needed
it.
them more.
I needed women in my team. That was one. 2, I should have done more within the party. I should have done more within the party. You know, when you run for office, there are many constituencies that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
I focused more on the electorate than on the party itself, the party hierarchy, the party leadership. That was
Very
another
essential.
huge gap.
Yeah, very essential.
Yes. So
Have to
I
align
don't.
with them.
Yes, you have to align with them.
Yeah.
You have to bow down to who you need to bow down
To succeed.
to succeed.
Yeah.
And this was not coming from a place of arrogance. It was coming from a place of ignorance.
Ignorance.
But I was lucky enough to be involved with a party where, okay, let me say, for instance, the party leadership were people who knew my parents, who knew my family very
So
well.
you took it for granted.
So I didn't take it for
They
granted.
took care of her.
I want to say that they were able to relate with me from a place of kindness rather than feeling like I intentionally slighted them.
Yeah.
Because when I eventually came round to seeing them, which is what I should have done first, earlier, I did not meet attacks like, why did you not, I didn't get scolded or
No, but
told off.
it's also strategically useful that you had that approach, because the party wants to be popular within the electorate.
Yeah.
There probably was someone who was doing the bowing down, but you were also bridging another strategic gap for the party.
From
That is-
from a place of ignorance. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't a
Not
strategy.
intentional.
Well, from my
It wasn't
experience, I know
intentional.
that is it.
So it may have helped me,
All
but
aspirants come with different strengths and different strategies
and
tasks.
things like that.
And
Yeah.
the responsibility of the party is to harness all of that, so that in the end the synergy pays off well for them.
And I guess that brings to, it shows how much experience or wealth of experience our leader, that's Senator George Akume, had, because when I eventually got round to coming into his presence, he spoke to me nicely, actually advised me on things I should do. He did ask me, have you seen my wife, who is the woman leader of the party? I was like, no. He
Wow.
said, huge gaff. You need to go and see her. So I noted that down.
Woman
Have you
leader
seen-
said, wow.
You know, have you seen this person? I said no. Have you seen this one? I said he said no. You have to go and see all these people.
It's
So
important.
he
It's like
he-
when somebody's picking a wife
You know,
and
he
then
said-
he just says my wife. Traditionally speaking in Africa, it's not your wife. You need to go and see a lot of people.
So-
Otherwise, on the wedding day, they will tell you that what are you doing here?
Exactly.
Even though they would have heard.
And he ended up telling me, listen, you need to go and see your opponents as well. Talk to all of them. You don't know who you will need to collaborate with at crunch time.
Can
You know,
imagine?
and these were actually tips, so to speak, you know. So there are quite a number of things I think I would do differently. But incidentally, things worked out for me. I still won by default, so to speak. But things went this way and that way. But I gained a lot of experiences. I know things I would do differently, and I know things that I did well that I would just leverage on and amplify.
All right, I intentionally asked that question because as the campaigns are, kickstarting today, I want to believe that all the ladies who are, going to be vying for one thing or the other for 2023 are picking up from here what you've said and make sure, especially the rookies, that they do not make the same mistakes. A lot of people are writing in. I'll just take one or two messages and get back to the discussion. Let's see, from our WhatsApp group, and somebody says here, good morning everyone, your discussion is valuable. I want women to be prepared and be fully involved. We need our mothers to advise us. Politics is for everyone. Incidentally, this person is a man. He said his name is Arnold Acha from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. We need more men like this to help us
He for she.
he for she, right?
Yes, we need that.
All right. So another person is asking a question here. He says, what time do you have to take care of your children if you're doing campaigning outside? They didn't write your name here, but I'll let you answer this question. When you're doing campaigning.
Well, different children don't belong to one person.
Thank
So
you.
the responsibility is not for one person.
Spoken.
There are older persons, there are aunties and uncles, and there are professionals as well. And so the support system is put in place, and then it plays its role. I'm sitting here and my children are in Mina. and they are doing fine. When it's time to go to school, they will go to school. When it's time for pick up, they will get picked up. When it's time for food, they will eat,
get food.
including Adele, who is a child with special needs. You know, he has enough care already down for him on ground. And my responsibility is to check, you know, at specific times of the day and follow up as need be.
Yeah.
So we don't make it seem like the responsibility of childcare rests only on women. It is a general responsibility.
That's why God did not create it in such a way that only one person
have
does
the
the job. The man contributes in the making sure
Process.
that the pregnancy is given, the woman brings it out, and both of them jointly care. So if a woman has to be outside doing one thing or the other, the man should be indoors trying to help out as well, but not that he should do it full time. Sometimes even when we are home, are we really the ones serving the food? The answer is no. Somebody is there, one cousin is there, even when you're within the home
cook is
environment.
there.
But I'm not saying that we should neglect our jobs at
No,
home.
no.
Now, I still want to, go back. Woman leader.
Yes, ma'am.
How do we get more women, especially young people, involved
Wow.
in this 2023?
They are already involved in our party. They are already involved because a lot of them came out to buy their forms, and we had series of workshop and seminars to ginger them up, and we gave them tips on how to win the election. Number one, they should be well informed of their environment. What is the population of their constituency? How many polling units do they have? Then what happened the other previous election? Did people come out? Is it that they did not come out? What happened? What militated their coming out? Then you will talk to the religious leaders, the elders, the old politicians who had experience, collaborate with them, get the women leaders, the women, our mothers who had been involved in the village, get their buy. Try not to be isolating yourself alone. Mix with people, get people's opinion within the constituency and the environment. What is it that you have done before? Because we've told them, if you are coming out, they must ask you, what impact has your people felt about you before you bought the form?
Exactly.
What have you done? Even if you don't have money, there must be some few things that you must have been involved in, that you must have done. These are things that we've really, really educated them on. And by getting they should mix with both religion. Don't say because you're a Muslim, you go to only mosque. Go to the church. Talk to the pastors. Let them know that this is what you want to do. Mix them together. Attend functions when you are invited. Don't segregate. And don't try to make sure that I don't need their vote. I have enough Muslim. No. Or tribe, tongue, or whatever faith. You have to work in assiduously with everybody and make sure that everybody feel that yes, you are the right person for it. But when you are standing up to campaign, please be mindful of the words that come from your mouth. Be a woman, be a mother, be a role model. Speak well. Issues, informations, ideas, programs. These are some policies. These are what you will bring out. Let them know what you intend to do and how you're going about it. Not to just come out and start talking on Sunday, the security, so was this and that. What do you intend to do? If you identify an issue, try to back it up on how you are going about it. These are some of the tips that we've given them. And we made them feel that they could come out if they have the pedigree to come out. And when you are out, please let us see you as a role model. We are supportive, we will support them, and we are sponsoring some of them on our own to make sure that people feel their impact. Get the aged ones. Try and prepare something you will do for them. The less privileged, move with the youths. Let them be part of your team. Both the boys, the men and the women. Make sure you don't leave anybody behind. These are some of the tips we've given them, and we are encouraging them more the more.
Exactly.
We follow them out to wherever they are going so that we can correct them, we can add more value to whatever campaign they are giving out.
No, you're talking, I'm almost taking notes because I feel like this is politics 101. I should be jotting everything so that I don't get to miss. I already feel like I'm almost empowered, but I'm not sure I'll contest.
But I told you I'm enjoying it. I went through a lot of books, attended seminars, conferences to brighten up myself and then get more knowledge, so that I'll be able to carry the women along.
Yeah. Okay, carrying the women along. Let me go back to Her Excellency here. In picking this form, it's one thing.
Yes.
Ensuring that I don't fail is a different thing entirely.
Sure.
What path should I toe to ensure, beyond what she said, that I don't fail?
I think number one is to understand that the strategies used post-primaries are different from the strategies used pre-primaries. And most women, even new politicians that are male, don't know that. So they begin to do general campaign when they should be focusing on the party and the structure.
Exactly.
And deploying their resources wisely, because the general campaign will consume resources, and then when it is time, one cannot deliver. So the most important thing for me at that point is to be able to tell what are the strategies for pre-primary elections. What resources do I have? How do I deploy my resources in a cost-effective manner? Because you have to invest and be thinking about cost benefits.
Yeah.
And then you have to leverage on other opportunities. Not everything you do will come from your account. Are there partners that can key into what you're doing?
Yeah.
Not necessarily by giving you cash, but by bringing on board that resource, that service that you need at that time. And it is a very important thing to realize and to undertake.
So your network is very important.
Network is important. Leveraging on opportunities, very important. And then mapping the tact, the strategy wisely, knowing that this is to emerge as a candidate. So you don't need general vote yet. So stay focused. Because what people are going to do is to come and tell you, we need posters in this village. We need a billboard in every state. And it's not yet time for all of those things. What you must do, of course, is to let the party know that you have some followership by engaging with the public, that you are knowledgeable by engaging with the media, but very importantly, engaging within the party, so that the party structure knows who you are worth, and the values you believe in, and what you have to offer, both during the journey to the primaries and beyond. Because after the primaries, you should have some space to still express yourself as far as a politician is.
And it's this general election you begin to do the other side.
A critical point here before I forget. If you are serious about going the long haul, whatever money you are putting together, try and keep aside that odd 500,000 that you will not touch, so that you'll be able to afford your form at crunch time. You see, when I ran, there were a number of people that felt that could have made a very good, outing, but at crunch time they could not afford the form. And that's how they got weeded out.
But sometimes they don't even let you know how much the form will cost until dying minute.
That's why I said keep aside that odd 500,000, because if you already have that, at crunch time you might be able to get something and add to it if it's more than that.
Yes.
Now, during our time, what happened and really knocked many people off kilter, there was this thing that it's free for women. They had forgotten that.
How free?
When it was free for women, the party was not yet a big deal. You understand? The party was still a small boy, so to speak, in the scheme of things, and so on and so forth. As the party grew and came to gain general acceptance, women who had gone into this whole process thinking at crunch time, maybe I'll just bring out 100,000, blah, 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 discovered that they had to part with almost 2 million naira for form.
Wow.
It wasn't available.
Expression of interest.
Expression of interest form. It was
Okay,
not
the
available.
expression of interest is different from buying the form
Nomination.
itself.
Yes.
There are
Not-
two forms.
There are two
Nomination
forms.
form
Yes.
and a form for
expression of
yes.
One
Yes.
was free, one was not free.
Yes. And
There's no free lunch.
no, but I'm telling you that even that form is the tip of the iceberg, because the amount of money you still need to spend.
Yes, but at least that shows that at least you are even, your name is written
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
as somebody who
Form.
actually contested.
least,
You
yeah.
understand? Because no matter how much other money you are putting into the process, if this
You
piece
don't
of
have the
documentation is missing, you did not contest.
And if you have the form and you don't have the resources to get the
It's
nomination form filled,
So
zero for you.
You
Yeah.
must, people need to be mindful of this form, whether expression of interest or nomination form or what. Keep some money aside that you'll be able to pick that form.
And fill it.
Going forward,
That is women challenge.
Yeah.
No money.
no more youth. This time they made a bit of leeway also. It was cheaper for youth and women. Much cheaper than when I ran.
Okay.
But so it's something that people don't, new politicians are not mindful of.
Don't worry.
You need to keep some money aside for that.
All of you are talking and looking at me. I'm not joining politics, so I'm never going to be old or new. But let's read the
Well,
messages.
we said that before, and here we are today.
Yeah, we
so
said
feel
that
free,
today.
say what you want.
You are learning.
All right. Good morning. I'm Lazarus Onyekachi Ezde Chukwu. I love your topic and I wish you all the best. I hope when women finally get into power, things get better. Good luck. Okay, thank you very much. You said you're writing it from Owerri, and I want to believe that your predictions will come to pass.
Amen.
Good morning, ma'ams. I'm not against women being in politics, but do you think that any woman can rule over a man when God did not give women that power? God makes women to help men, not to rule over men. I am Modestus from Lagos.
This
Thank
person
you very-
didn't read the book of Judges, so he's not aware of Deborah and the role she played. Didn't read about Ruth in the book of Joshua. Didn't read many things, you know.
Even in the
So,
Quran, we have a lot of women that participated fully
In
in
leadership.
politics. Yeah, in those days.
and
Okay, so-
business.
So, Modestus, you're listening. And if you're not very sure, still read about the Queen Aminam's also.
Yes, so
Why do you women complain when your husbands come back home at 3 a.m. when it is known he is in town playing politics? Anyway, we already told you here, politics is not a game, so we should not play it. And if a man comes home late, a woman can also come late. Once is for the greater good of a nation. The time she comes back home is not so important compared to trust between the two. Who she is at home determines what she does outside. That's from Matthew,
that was
just
your
repeating
point.
what you said earlier. I like the perspective taken by the woman on the issue on the front burner. However, we should note that it is not entirely a gender battle, but a win-win for all if competence is viewed over mediocrity. And that's from Mark. Mark is writing it from Yola, Adamawa State. There's so many messages here, but let's see the much we can handle. From Katsina State, good morning. All the discussion is very important because we need our mothers to be involved themselves in politics because they have sympathy than we, the men. This is Ahmed Sani Kusada from this thing. You're saying it will bring in our mother bearing, everything moves better. Most men have issues with the fact that women are in politics because most often when the women are back from such activities, they start complaining of stress. When the men really want to have them, they start saying, please, I'm tired. The day is too hectic, a lot of things. All right. I can't begin to take all of this, but let me just take one more. Good morning, Ma. I love your program. I pray that women will lead Nigeria and make it a greater place. Thank you very much. I have to leave with a parting shot. Let me start with Devon. Just advice to people who are participating at this time, and even for those of us who are voters.
Yes, avoid, for me, I would say kindly avoid people who come into politics and want to play the ethnic card or the religious card, just as Hajia said. Such people will never make good leaders. That is one. Two, if you, no matter how popular a certain candidate is in the city. Where the actual electorate is usually is in our rural areas. So the fact that somebody is very popular on social media helps, but the actual people who come out and stand in the queues at crunch time are in the villages. So if you're a politician and you're running around in town, in churches, jumping up and down on social media, and you are not mindful of how many people know your name in the village, at crunch time when you don't win, you'll start hearing stories about rigging and blah blah blah. No, you have not gone where it matters to talk to who actually stand and vote.
All right.
Yeah, and taking it from where you have stopped, I want to send a message to my brothers and sisters who are internally displaced, because they are, first of all, occupied by the issues that they are confronting right now. And so that is making them have some apathy towards politics. Things have to change. Internally displaced persons have provisions where they can change their polling unit and so on and so forth. I am imploring all of them to ensure that they cast their vote, and that they can do by checking what provisions are in place for them wherever they are. And then they should look forward to people who sound credible on the solutions that they are going to prefer towards security, because that is so very important.
Very true. When we have good leaders, security betters on. Okay, Hajia. Okay, sorry, woman leader. I want to practice it.
They have all spoken, and they spoke well. What each of them said are what we really want this country to look inward into. Then, secondly, they should please assist the women and the youths if they are contesting or they are voters, wherever they need their help. They should not scare them, because some of them have started complaining that the men, the bourgeois around them in the village or constituency, are threatening them. Most of them, after they've bought their forms, they will go there, bribe their way, and then try to get those positions from them. We should please allow them. This is our time.
This
Please,
is our
we're
time.
appealing. The youths and the women should be allowed to exercise their franchise,
We will.
to do the right thing.
Yes, it is our time. Incidentally, our own time here is up. It's time for another program, and we will be saying bye-bye. Ocheme Odo from Katsina said that any society governed by a woman is clearly governed well, but those who think the power belongs to them will not let them be. I want to end on that note. Please, it's not about power tussle. It's about giving everybody comfort as much as possible in the community, in the society, in the country. Let's cast the right vote. And women, please, let's see you and hear you at the same time, including yours sincerely. I will go there to vote. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.